last week it rained. It was 70 degrees, you know, in January, way too warm. And this morning I wake up, mid 30s, winds blowing 25, 30 miles an hour, and I'm going fishing. It's one of those I should know better moments, I guess, but I'm going anyway. Water came up. There's going to be some dirty water. The wind is going to be the hardest part about today. Plus, we've got just a huge cold front here. But stay tuned. Hopefully, I'm not making a big mistake. Okay, first thing I notice is the water color is not very good. Pretty muddy. Personally, do not like muddy water at Lake Lanier. All right, thanks for tuning in. There's going to be some wind noise on today's video. Wind is blowing extremely hard. There's a wind advisory. Really, I probably shouldn't be out here. All last week it rained. It was in the 70s. This morning it's mid 30s, 25, 30 mile an hour wind. Stay tuned, see if I can figure something out. Water color is off. We got a lot of rain. The lake levels rose quite a bit. All right. All right. Nice largemouth. Normally, on a windy day, I'd like to fish in the wind, but it's just too windy out there. You can't even cast. So I'm fishing areas and stuff that I just normally wouldn't fish. I'm looking for places that get me out of the wind just a little. Major cold fronts come through. I mean, it was 70 yesterday and raining. And like I said, it was 35 when I left the house. The wind makes it feel a lot colder blowing off the water here. So I'm in the back of a creek. I figured I'd come back to the back of the creeks and I could get out of the wind here and there. And so far, you know, one decent largemouth. I can't really complain. Water temperature's 55 from all the 70-degree weather we've had. Normally this year our water temperature is, you know, upper 40s. Oh boy, there he was. Man. He hit it when I started reeling it up. So I see some fish on the fish finder back in this. I'm in a ditch, I guess you'd call it. So really, probably would have been better off staying at home, and that's what I would advise people to do. You don't really makes no sense to come out on a day like this. There we go. Ooh, saved by golly. There we go. Kind of amazing to me that fish is kind of washed out already. We've only had the dirty water for a day or so, but that's a nice spot. Nice chunk. Whew. Once again, the old jig does the damage. And you know, the wind's blowing 25, 30 miles an hour out I had lots of whitecaps to get back in this creek and got a little wet. So the last two fish, I'm just right back in a ditch. I'm throwing it up fairly shallow. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing. So as you can see, I'm throwing it up in here shallow, but my bites are coming right as it drops off down into the channel. And as I'm working it out, I'm feeling rocks, maybe stumps. I'm not sure what it is, but boy, there's plenty of it. As I said, this is an area I normally wouldn't fish, but you know, weather like this kind of dictates. So I'm just trying to find fish where I can kind of get out of the wind. I can't even cast out in the wind. It's just too windy. When the lake levels rise like they have, you really got to be careful running your boat. The debris floating, logs and trees, kind of dangerous. Anyway, 35 degrees, wind's blowing 30 miles an hour, and I like my chances, so I came out and, you know, that's two fish right off the bat. I haven't fished, you know, I've been fishing 10 minutes. Hey, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button. It helps me out. I'm trying to grow my channel. I would appreciate it. So one of the reasons I decided to come out today, I've got a barometer in my house that I pay attention to. And for the last week, we've had low pressure with all the rain, and the barometer was rising, starting to rise this morning. Generally, if the barometer's moving, fishing will be better. And that's anywhere you fish, anywhere in the world. If the barometer's moving, fishing's going to be better. So what I'm going to do is the area I caught those two fish earlier, I'll just leave it alone. I might come back later and catch them there again. Oh boy, that's a good one here. Nice big largemouth. That's probably 3.5 or better. Nice largemouth. I love that. It was right under the boat. You know, the wind is pushing the boat this way, and I'm working my jig out, and all of a sudden right underneath the boat. Boy, that was a good largemouth. Good fish. Like to see those good largemouth. A lot of people think we don't have a good population of largemouths here in Lanier, but it's just not true. Lots of largemouth. I'm still using a light jig. A lot of times the wind blowing like this, I'll go to a heavier jig just to help keep it down, but I like to use as light of a jig as I can get away with. It just falls slower. When you pop it off a rock, it just falls enticingly slower. again. Nice fish there. Man, they're difficult to catch. I will say they are difficult to catch. Ooh, it's another solid spot. Nice one. Probably 2 pounds. Got a point right here. There's a ledge. As soon as it fell, you know, came to the ledge. As soon as it fell off the ledge, tick, there he was. I like it. And I've been away from the area where I caught the fish earlier for a good hour or two. So once I'm done fishing this, I'm gonna go right back there. Sometimes these areas will just reload with new fish. That might be the biggest fish of the day right there. Nice spot. Push myself off of this dock. All right, I'm back in the same ditch where I started this morning and caught some fish. So just seeing if there might be some more moved in. Man, it is cold. Actually think it's gotten colder since I've been out here. Yes. Man, I'm glad I came back. Sometimes these areas where you catch fish, you can leave and come back and they'll reload. Look at the size of that monster. I mean, that's 4+ right there. It's a giant. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Man. Makes my day. There's my kicker. I'm gonna swing it back around. Because there just might be another one in there. Wow. I'm back at the same exact spot I caught the fish this morning. Sometimes you can leave and come back and they'll reload. These spots will reload. Boat's setting in 19 feet of water. It drops almost straight down here at the bank. It's just a ditch. Not bad for a day. I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to fish because of this wind. Boy, they can't resist the jig, I'm telling you. They just can't resist it. Man, what a fish. I love catching them. Just love it. This one's not as big as the last one, but it's a nice fish. That's probably a 2-pounder. So anytime, you know, I'm right back where I started this morning. It's actually a good tip. If you know, you catch fish in an area, well, you can leave the area, come back, and sometimes those fish will reload, and that's what happened here. Now, I haven't caught a bunch when I came back, but I caught 2 good ones. A few more casts, and then it's probably time for me to make my way back to the boat ramp. It's going to be a wet ride. We got white caps, and that's a fish. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh boy. It's another good one. Wow. It's another stud. This one's a little beat up, but it's a good fish. Nice one. Well, that is certainly interesting. That's another fish. Uh-oh. Pulling drag on me. Holy smokes. Boy, it's another good one. Man, I love it. Right now the boat's in 26 feet of water. I'm casting it up there fairly close to the bank. At least that's what I did early. Now I'm throwing it off the bank a little ways, so I'm probably in, I don't know, my lure is probably in 15 feet or so. And there's a few fish here. Boy. Not bad for a day I didn't even think I was going to be able to fish. We had a big cold front come through. I even think there was a little bit of snow this morning. Just a flake or two. But I got a little tiny point right here. And it's got some rock on it. Man, unbelievable. I've done pretty good today. You know, this is post cold front. But I knew this morning, I checked my barometer, and the barometer was starting to rise, and that makes a difference. You want the barometer to be moving. Good fish. Man, another nice spot. All right, thanks for tuning in. Did pretty good today, considering I wasn't even going to come out. The wind was blowing so hard, and there was a big cold front. Very cold today. But one thing I kind of figured out, caught him here in this ditch early today, left, went and fished some other areas, caught some more fish, came back to the same spot I caught him earlier, and it just reloaded. It was full of fish again. And I actually did better this afternoon than I did this morning in here. So don't be afraid to come back and fish water you've already fished later in the day. But thanks for tuning in. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back and fish with me next time. All right, I gotta say I did better than I expected. You know, cold fronts will normally slow the fishing down, and I had to work for them, but I caught some good fish today. So don't let the cold front scare you. Also, there was wind advisory on the lake today, and it really was blowing. It was, but you can get yourself out of the wind, you know, back in I fished in 2 ditches today, basically, and all my fish came, really, most of my fish came from the same ditch. I fished it earlier, left, come back, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours later, and it just reloaded with more fish, and I caught them again.